Well, I'm finally getting this thing together. All I have to do is put the bodywork on. I appreciate the subscriptions I received. I know they were for the hurricane and to see how it was going, but it was just so mosquito-y here, summer of 2010 in Wisconsin, that the bugs were just all over. You couldn't do anything. The heat was bad, but the mosquitoes and the bugs. So I'll just give a quick look over on this sucker. Oh, the back license plate was bent. It had reflectors on both sides, and one was gone, and I thought they were just bolted on, but they weren't, so I had to take this off. I had to cut the wires and resolder them. I just took it on my grinder. I sawed it with a hacksaw, then cleaned it up with the grinder on both sides. I didn't take the back wheel off because this thing is just turning out to be a lot of work for just cleaning a bike and adjusting it. Red was coming off while cleaning the wheels. The black stuff is just chain goo and brake dust. I took like a coarse sandpaper to the exhaust, and then I took a fine sandpaper. Both times I sprayed the sandpaper with WD-40 to make it less harsh. So I did it with like 80 grit sandpaper with WD-40 sprayed on it, and then did it with like 400 grit, and then I took the metal polish. I didn't paint, only painted a few little parts, so these will probably be painted eventually, and a kickstand. And I'll polish the shifter. If that doesn't work, I'll paint it. I changed the brake fluid. The way I change it is I just suck out the fluid in the reservoir. I suck it out with a syringe type thing, and I wipe it out, and I pour new brake fluid in. And if you don't touch your brake pedal or your clutch or your front brake, then you don't get any air in the line, so you get partially or majority clean brake fluid. The way I got the paint off the motor was I used paint reducer, automotive paint reducer. This right here is for, you know, reducing car paint, and you know, that's how you can get overspray off and paint type things. I looked out, it didn't haze out or whiten or dull the finish. Usually when you put paint reducer, it dulls the finish, and this one didn't. But if it would have, I would have used buffing compound to get it out. Well, taking the front wheel off, I thought I'd be smart, put the jack under the bike where it looks like there's weldings for a center stand. And I usually put the jack under the motor on my VFR. There's space, so I put it on the oil pan. And this one, I had the exhaust off. It looks like the exhaust is a little staggered, so it'd probably be hard to jack it with the exhaust. But anyways, I hit it on the back, and it fell off the jack. And I thought I'd wrecked some serious stuff. And all that happened was I put some gouges here. I was worried that I cracked the side cover. It fell on this side. It didn't hurt the gas tank at all, but it had like a skid mark going like this all the way down. And I took that kit scratch out, and I took the the skid mark off the tank. But you know, that's the way this stuff goes. It's two steps forward, one step back when you're doing projects. I painted the bar ends. With these, you have to Loctite them, because that's one of the things that happens to the CBRs is they vibrate the right bar end off, and it's like $20 for the bar end and the screw. The controls were all goofball on this. When you put your hands on it, everything was weird and misadjusted. The way I adjust these is I loosen up the bolts until they're just snug enough to hold them so you can move them. And I put my hands on the levers, and you want your levers to be even on both sides. You don't want one lower, one higher, your brake higher or lower than your clutch. You want them both even. Both levers were bent and goofy, and I actually managed to straighten them out in a vise. That's the first time I actually put some time in to try to straighten out levers, and I got them straight. And had a bunch of gouges in them, and I took a file and I smoothed everything out, and of course everything looked rough. And I took the 80 grit sandpaper WD-40 and the 400 grit WD-40, and then I took the mother's metal polish. It turned out good. With a vise, I turned the big teeth around so the teeth are facing back, but it still left gouges, but that's how you can clean them up. Just clean them up with a simple file. So I took the brake discs off and I painted them, and they look pretty good for now. I'm sure they're gonna rust when exposed to the weather, and I'll have to take sandpaper to them on a regular basis. The way I did the painting was I took pinstriping, and you can bend pinstriping. So I put a big piece of pinstripe here for grip, you know, so it doesn't slip loose, and you pull out like a 6 inches or a foot with one hand, and then with your other finger you guide it all along. And then I just used cheap paper tape, taped it up. I actually took the time to put thin layers of paint on. I'm pretty stupid, I never do that. I always put it on too thick. So I put 3 layers on, and I gave them 2 days to dry. The junky bolts I didn't replace yet. I had 3 bad bolts that hold the disc on. I just sprayed them with WD-40 and sanded them on 80 grit sandpaper. I just had the sandpaper on the floor, and I take the bolt and just rub it on the sandpaper. On the edges, you just take the sandpaper to it. There's the other bad bolt. I just spray painted it for now. So I'm pretty happy how this turned out, but I have to say I haven't spent this much time on a Japanese sport bike probably ever. It's probably close to 40 hours now, and I still haven't taken a tank off to adjust the valves. The voltage regulators underneath. The fuel tank, that's a pretty strange spot for it. And also the fill up for the radiator is under the gas tank. I couldn't find it, and I had one of these brand new, but I only had it one summer. I never had to really do anything to it. So the radiator filler cap is under the fuel tank. Then I'll spray out the air filter with air. I'm pretty cheap. If the air filter looks good, I just spray it out with air. because they're like $50 unless you can get a good deal on eBay. I changed the oil. I actually found a filter for it at Fleet Farm, our local hardware store. So I'm for sure putting the side panels on, and the upper, the left side fairing is nice, but the right one isn't too nice. I lucked out a small little bike shop that I haven't been to in quite a while. Used to sell stickers and stuff, and I lucked out. Look at these stickers. I got all these for 20 bucks. I mean, he had OK Stickers, but I've been there for a long time, and he has a kick butt sticker collection. So, I mean, good stickers make a bike. If you're going to do a sticker bike, good stickers are, you know. So I don't plan to sticker it out at first, but, you know, I'll place the stickers and see how they look. Just put paper tape on them, tape them in place, and see how they look. I kind of like stuff bone stock. I'm not even happy to have the Kirker on there. So I should have this put together. I think it's going to be rainy in the next couple of days. I'm definitely not riding this out in the rain after spending all this time. So thanks for watching my videos, and maybe you'll see a couple more of this thing. Okay, thanks a lot.